So does he qualify for COP?
Yes.
He will qualify for
He'll
COP.
qualify for COP. How many practitioners are in Nepal?
There's not much
There are
practice.
not much. There's a huge shortage of people, accountancy profession in UK. That means there is a huge demand. तपाईँ जस्तो ट्युसन प्रोभाइडर जुन गरिराख्नु भएको छ त्यो राम्रो काम गरिराख्नु छ हाम्रो बेलामा थियो.
Hello and welcome to the Seed Show. यो थर्ड सिजनको सेकेन्ड एपिसोडमा हजुर सबैलाई स्वागत छ. आज हामीसँग एकदम स्पेसल गेस्ट हुनुहुन्छ all the way from UK, Mr. Sanjay Shah. He is the managing director of Makesworth Accountants Limited, which is a global approved employer in the UK. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you, Anand. So, hello everyone. My name is Sanjay Shah, as he said. I'm the managing director and founder of Makesworth Accountant, a multi-award-winning accounting firm. We are a medium-sized practice based in UK. We have got various offices in UK, and we are also a global approved employers. And we have a global office as well. So recently we opened our office in Nepal. We have an office in India running for 7 years. Also, we opened an office in Philippines. I'm a fellow of ACCA, so I'm a fellow member of ACCA, as well as I'm a member of Institute of Chartered Accountant of England and Wales, and I also hold a various CPA qualification. For me, a Makesworth, we just wanted to, as a Makesworth accountant, my vision is to recognize my practice in the UK as a national accounting firm, providing a comprehensive professional services to individuals in a small and medium-sized entity. That's my introduction.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So I think to start with, I think let's start from your journey, from ACCA journey. So ACCA journey, how did it start?
मेरो ACCA journey, मैले ACCA qualifications beginning ko, I think त्यति बेला used to be called Part 1 and Part 2. So I started my ACCA in December 2002. So it's probably approximately 20 years now. So मैले सबै मेरो जुन जति पनि थियो पेपरहरू, that most of the papers I completed in Nepal. त्यसपछि मैले यहाँको पेपर कम्प्लिट गरेपछि मसँग फाइनल पेपर थियो. Then because at that point of time there was no enough tuition provider in Nepal, so it's very difficult for someone to study at final levels, assuming that no one is able to guide you, teach you, except just looking at the books and reading in your own. That's a self-study was very difficult. Then my journey was, then I decided why not I can go and complete my qualifications in UK. So त्यसपछि मैले के गरेँ, मेरो qualification final पढ्नलाई I joined a training company called FTC. That point of time is a financial training company. So I went to study the paper called 3.5 in old syllabus, 3.5, 3.6, 3.7. And then I completed my ACCA. I think I was completed in 2006. I completed in 2006. So that took me from 2002 to 2006. But it was in December, so I completed in 3.5 years, I think. But we did not have tuition providers and things, so it was very difficult in Nepal. Now I can see that there's plenty of tuition providers, which is obviously then opportunities for ACCA student in Nepal.
Of course. त्यसपछिको let's say from 2006 so until now, so कस्तो भयो त हजुरको journey in terms of ACCA सकिसक्यो?
The journey is like as a foreigners national born in Nepal, going to foreign country like in UK मा गएपछि obviously you have a struggle. You start your career from zero. Everything you start from zero. And being in a student visa, because I went to UK in a student visa, then you always think about what is going to happen, probably the next year, what will happen until your visa is sorted. You cannot focus on the things. What is my aim? What I'm going to do, for examples. Then I was teaching actually for first 2.5 years. I was teaching in UK university and also in UK colleges. So I was teaching in different universities. That's the way I started my careers in UK. Then I see, because I was studying ACCA, and then I've seen there is no much scope for the sector which I have qualified to do for. Then I decided, let's start working in public practice, because I did not want to work in a corporate world. My vision was since beginning, because I wanted to give some sort of challenge for myself. So I wanted to work in a public practice. सो त्यसपछि के भयो कि म पब्लिक प्र्याक्टिसमा त्यहाँ काम गर्न थालेँ. मैले आफ्नो रोल चाहिँ जुनियर लेभलबाट सुरु गरेको हो, बिकज फ्रम स्क्रच वेन यु स्टार्ट युर क्यारियर यु स्टार्ट फ्रम स्क्रच, you do many things from the scratch, so you wanted to, because I wanted to learn a deep understanding of accounting, how debit and credit works, because my background was in science. I studied in Trichandra, so I studied science. So going from science to study in accountancy field, it was a little bit difficult for me. So, and then I gradually, get my position up and up. I had very good performing in a practice, because I was working in a medium-sized firm. So literally, I worked for almost 8 years in practice before I set up my own.
Okay, so that was 2014 then. Makesworth.
Yeah, so I established my company, incorporated Makesworth in 2012. But first 2 years was dormant because I had my visa issues. So I got my indefinite leave to remain in 2014. Because you are not allowed to work until and unless you have your own visa settled. Because I cannot have a business and run a business as a director. So that means I set up my business I started in 2014, which is now 8 years.
Okay.
But the company has now a decade. So once I incorporated, it's now 10 years.
10 years, okay. So how is the business?
Business is, we recognize as I have to say proudly, as an accounting firm, the recognitions which I have, it's very difficult to get to other practice. So we have multi award winning and recognized as being a foreign national, so recognized somewhere in the UK. So हामीले त्यहाँको सबै नेशनल लेभलको अवार्डहरू जितेछौँ. We proved ourselves as one of the best practice in the UK. We are a growing practice. र हाम्रो जुन practice, the good thing was that I was only employing Nepalese, even in UK. So I had more than 12 Nepalese people working in UK office. हाम्रो नेपालमा पनि अफिस छ, इन्डियामा पनि half of our population are Nepalese. But my aim is to give an opportunity to Nepalese. Being a Nepalese citizen, so I just want to give an opportunity, work, develop, help ACCA.
So that's good, sir. Okay. I think so Makesworth आफै पनि global approved employer हो. So
Makesworth global approved employer हो.
Yeah, so we know about approved employer नेपालको कन्टेक्स्टमा. हामी global approved employer चाहिँ कम नै छन्. So त्यो हिसाबले चाहिँ we know about approved employer. What is global approved employer?
Global approved employers means you can have people train throughout the world, and they can go to 36 months experience. Now we have a company, Makesworth Accountants in UK. We have a company, Makesworth Accountant Private Limited in Nepal. Everywhere the name is same. Yeah, it's owned by Makesworth Group. So the meaning of global approved employers means you don't have to go to the UK to get your 36-month training. So you can get a training to get a membership. You need to have 3 months training. So in order to get that training, someone working in Nepal will have the same thing. They will get, because we are approved employers, what we need to give? Just a letter. You don't have to complete anything, just to give one letter. That letter will give you a 36-month if you work with Makesworth. So it doesn't matter where you're working. Where you are working in India office, you are working in Nepal office, we have an office in Philippines, so you're working in a Philippines office. Wherever you're working, you'll be able to get a training. त्यसमा के भन्छ कि ट्रेनिङ पाउँछ, अनि ट्रेनिङ भएपछि मेम्बरसिपलाई हेल्प गर्छ. So there is no barriers. You can work anywhere, but our head office is in UK.
Okay. So मैले अलिकति बुझ्न चाहेको छ, does that, so if a person is working in Nepal, so does he qualify for COP?
Yes.
He will qualify for COP.
We qualify for COP because ACCA has given us in writing.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, then.
So anyone works in Nepal can get same thing someone working in UK.
So I think त्यो different भयो. I think global हुँदा चाहिँ त्यो
global हुँदा त्यो different भयो. अब मैले चाहिँ only नेपाल approved employer गरेको भए, there only नेपालमै कम्पनी हुनु पर्थ्यो, नेपालमै सबै कुरा हुनु पर्थ्यो. तर हाम्रो त्यो ग्लोबल भएकोले लाइक बिग कम्पनीज आर ग्लोबल इम्प्लोयड पेप्सी फर इक्जाम्पल सोनी इन्कर्पोरेसन
UN is a global employer. Standard Chartered is the global.
Standard Chartered, even in Nepal, Standard Chartered is global employer. But we are a very, very small company, obviously in comparison to Standard Chartered and other bank. We are a very small company. But even being in a small company, we are approved by global, that we can train a staff anywhere, whether it's Nepal, India, Philippines, wherever. We can train the staff, we can train the team, and you have the same level of experience, same level of, because literally they all work for the UK office. We don't do any work in Nepal. So this is a kind of our support office, our back office.
That's good. Okay. So alikati we talk on the relevance of the qualification तपाईको भनौँ न जसरी चाहिँ I think you've got a different qualifications ICAW
I do have.
ICAW छ plus CPA पनि छ तर in comparison to others भनौँ न comparison पनि गर्दै because you've done all of it so in comparison to others how is ACCA different and then तपाईको भनौँ न सुरुको करियर स्टार्ट गर्ने हिसाबले त you've started with ACCA itself so how did it help in terms of career को building को हिसाबले plus as a business as a business जुन accounting firm चलाइराख्नु भएको छ how has ACCA helped भन्ने अलिकति बुझाउनु सर
ACCA मा अब के छ कि obviously हाम्रो जुन क्वालिफिकेसन त्यति बेला अवेलेबल थियो नेपालमा that was only ACCA qualifications. ICAW for examples that qualification was initially for all these British people, those who are based in Britain, those are white people and things, because I mean it's very. It was rarely you can find someone who is studying ICAW, so they put restriction on it. But whatever I have the qualification, whatever I have achieved today, date, is all due to ACCA. If I don't have ACCA qualification, because I haven't gone through the formal route of completing the ICAW. अब यो मेरो ACCA नभएको भए न मैले CPA पाउँथे ACCA नभएको भए न मैले ICAW पाउँथे तो मेरो लागि त बेस्ट क्वालिफिकेसन ACCA हो because this is the steps that whatever I am wherever I stand today for example जहाँ म छु त्यसको लागि सबै कुराको कन्ट्रिब्युसन ACCA लाई जान्छ ACCA is promoting me everywhere in the UK because म त्यहाँको practitioner panel UK को member छु that represents 24,000 members working in a public practice. So our role is to formulate policies, help the members working in practice, to give some student articles, what the student get. These are approved by us.
So in terms of stepping stone ko hisabले चाहिँ being in UK and then after completing qualification त्यो जुन stepping stone छ working for practice working for practice त्यो एकदमै rarely opportunities मिल्छ के अनि so and then how did employer view and भनौँ न ACCA को perspective बाट चाहिँ purely भनेको let's say if you have any other qualification अरु qualification भएको भए जति ACCA ले दिनुपर्ने जुन एउटा भनौँ न खुड्किलो चलाउनु पर्ने थियो त्यो अरु क्वालिफिकेसनले त दिन्थेन होला नि त भनौँ नर्मल if it was academic qualification because ACCA is राम्रै नै रिकग्नाइज छ भने त UK को कन्टेक्स्टमा
it's recognized we can say for examples the ICAW and ACCA are both are reputable qualifications for me if you ask me तपाईले मलाई सोध्नु भयो भने my first preference will go to ACCA because will have flexibility दिएछ धेरै कुरा दिएछ you can study from everywhere तपाईले ICAW मा नेपालमा पढ्छु भने पाउँछ पाउँदैन नि छैन त्यो कुरा के ACCA ले त्यो फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी दिएछ एउटा रिकग्निसन दिएछ इज अ काइन्ड अफ अ वर्ल्ड पासपोर्ट तपाई यहाँ काम गर्नुस् कुनै दुनियाको कुनै कन्ट्रीमा गएर काम गर्नुस् everywhere this qualification is required.
So अलिकति मैले अब बुझ्न चाहेको चाहिँ so हजुरसँग ACCA थियो and then why ICAW does it help in other things in the UK itself भन्न खोजेको ICAW
not
same एउटै कुरा
हो this is यसलाई हामीले भन्न सक्छौं this is a kind of duplication of qualifications हो म यो भन्दैन कि ICAW राम्रो होइन ICAW पनि धेरै राम्रो छ because something we need to learn from ICAW हो तर मेरो लागि I'm still practicing member of ACCA र म still I will continue to be until I retire I still would be the practicing member of ACCA
so खासमा मैले क्लियर गर्न खोजेको चाहिँ ACCA ले नै इनफ हुन्छ so
the reasons I aid is just for business advantage perspectives. Because the reason I add a qualification ICAW, because always मेरो माइन्डमा हुन्थ्यो कि it's entirely business decisions. Truly भन्नुहुन्छ भने business decision हो. Otherwise, there are lots of practitioners. You don't need to have an ICAW qualifications because the equivalence of ACCA, ICAW, CIMA, Institute of Chartered Accountants, Scotland and Ireland, all are same. They are approved bodies to sign and do audit, to do all sort of things. For me, there's no difference. म business perspective लिएको for business development perspectives and for the marketing.
हजुर हजुर अब अलिकति मैले बिजनेसकै पर्सपेक्टिभबाट हेर्दा चाहिँ डज भनौँ न हजुरले पढेको कुरा चाहिँ एसिसीमा पढेको कुरा चाहिँ हाउ मच डु यु अप्लाई भनौँ न अहिलेको कन्टेक्स्टमा पनि होइन म्यानेजिङ अ ग्लोबल अकाउन्टेन्सी फर्म हाउ डु यु अप्लाई दोज थिङ्स डु यु स्टिल अप्लाई ओर इट कम्स फ्रम एक्सपिरियन्स
No, it's because everyone needs a foundation stage. Without having your own background, you're really strong. How are you going to work if you don't know, for example, in any topics, for example, you teach couple of papers, right? ट्याक्सकै कुरा गर्ने हो भने ट्याक्समा हामी पढ्छौँ नि त्यहाँ बिएटी के हो इन्डाइरेक्ट ट्याक्स हो 20% हुन्छ 5% हुन्छ अब त्यो नबुझिकन how are you going to apply in public practice, right? So obviously, in order to do the second stage, in order to go to a public practice, whether he wants to be a practice in corporate world, finance director, insolvency practice, wherever your career is, for example, your first point is you need to have a solid backgrounds about your theoretical knowledge, right? र त्यो कुरा एसिसीले दिन्छ. Wherever he wants to work, there are plenty of professions. You don't need to work in practice, right? So ACCA has got one of the advantages. It's just not preparing you to work in a public practice. So you have an options to work in public practice. You have an options to work in corporate world. है दुइटै गर्छ त्यसले भनेपछि अब यसलाई के भन्न सकिन्छ बिकज यु निड टु हेभ फाउन्डेसन मलाई लाग्छ त्यो कुरा एसिसीले प्रिपेयर गर्छ फर्स्ट and if you wanted to be a professional accountant and if you wanted to be your career in professional world, that means you need a qualification. You need a professional qualification. It's not going to your academic degree is going to prepare that for you because this qualification entirely focus on those areas. If you want to be a professional accountant, that means you need to have a knowledge, theoretical knowledge, and all the things because obviously ACCA doesn't give you practical experience. That's why you have a 36-month experience to apply those theoretical knowledge into practical solutions. So once you work for 3 years, you are a qualified accountant, right? That helps you to develop your career.
So मेरो अलिकति कस्तो क्वेसन थियो भन्दा चाहिँ इन टर्म्स अफ टेक्निकल नलेजको हिसाबले त इट डज हेल्प यु विथ बट as a business person practice चलाउने हिसाबले चाहिँ in terms of the technical knowledge of the subjects you've studied अनि अरू कुरा पनि ठिक छ तर how does it help in expanding your business growth? How do you manage your business भन्ने कुरामा नि त हेल्प गर्छ होला नि त एसिसी
गर्छ because they promote, the ACCA will promote you. The ACCA do many things for their practitioner. They help because what happens the ACCA भन्ने बित्तिकै एसिसीले पढाइदिने मात्रै होइन कि इट्स नट ओन्ली क्वालिफिकेसन्स के गर्छ एसिसीको स्टुडेन्ट आर्टिकल आउँछ एसिसीको प्र्याक्टिस न्युज लेटर आउँछ एसिसीको सो मेनी सपोर्ट छ इभन हेल्पलाइन सपोर्ट छ एसिसीले डिफ्रेन्ट फ्याक्ट सिट्सहरू बनाएछ है फ्याक्ट सिट बनाएछ टेक्निकल फ्याक्ट सिट्सहरू छ नन टेक्निकल फ्याक्ट सिटहरू छ धेरै कुरा त्यस्तो छ त्यो डे टु डे बिजनेसमा किनभने त्यो कुरा भएन भने त प्र्याक्टिस ग्रोथ त हुँदैन राइट त्यो कुरा एसिसीले हेल्प गरिरहन्छ अल प्र्याक्टिस
सो नेपालको कन्टेक्समा कस्तो हुन्छ भने वी गट अप्रुभड इम्प्लोयर्स तर त्यो अप्रुभड इम्प्लोयर्स नेपालको कन्टेक्समा हेर्ने हो भने चाहिँ हाउ डज एसिसी हेल्प भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ डाइरेक्टली नदेख्न सक्छ कि नदेखिन सक्छ तर इन टर्म्स अफ युकेमा प्र्याक्टिस गरिरहेको हिसाबले चाहिँ मलाई पनि थाहा छ कि देयर इज लट अफ हेल्प फ्रम एसिसी सो त्यो एसिसी जुन हेल्पहरू छ हामी चाहिँ कस्तो सोच्छौँ भन्दा चाहिँ एसिसीलाई चाहिँ पढाइसकेपछि क्वालिफिकेसन दियो सक्यो जस्तो लाग्छ यु नो इन एभ्री स्टेप अफ लाइफ भनेको इन टर्म्स अफ मेम्बरको हिसाबले त सिपिडी हुने कुराहरू चाहिँ द्याट इज नर्मल तर म आफ्नो बिजनेस इस्टाब्लिस गर्छु आफ्नो प्र्याक्टिस स्टार्ट गर्छु भनिसकिसकेपछि नि इन टर्म्स अफ हेल्पको हिसाबले चाहिँ जस्ट बिङ अ अप्रुभड इम्प्लोयर भन्दा पनि हाउ डज एसिसी हेल्प भन्ने कुरा त धेरै नै छ नि त सो अनि हामी त्यो रियलाइज गरिरहेको हुँदैन
मलाई लाग्छ कि नेपालमा प्रोब्लम म त नेपालमा प्र्याक्टिस गरेको होइन मलाई लाग्छ कि नेपालको लागि त्यति रिसोर्सेस छैन प्रोबेबली एसिसी इज नट हेल्पिङ तपाईँलाई लाग्छ यो कुरा देन वाट probably you can send me one email and I will raise this voice to ACCA UK. द हेड अफिस बिकज आई हेभ मेरो आफ्नै म अलरेडी 2-3वटा प्यानलमा मेम्बर छु कि त्यहाँ एसिसिएको आई क्यान रेज बट आई एज्युम्स कि नेपालमा मलाई लाग्छ पर्सनली कि लाइक तपाईँले भन्नुभयो कि हाउ मेनी प्र्याक्टिसनर्स आर इन नेपाल
There's not much
They're
practice.
not much.
त्यो problem
What's
भयो.
why they are not becoming practice? Why they don't want to? Because I've seen many students after qualify from ACCA, they move into corporate world. Why not practice? Because practice has got good opportunity. You can grow. You have your own self time. You can manage your own finance. You don't need to work for someone. Why? You can become an entrepreneur. राइट अब त्यो सर्टेन कुरा त अब मलाई नेपालको बारेमा चाहिँ थाहा भएन कि कतिको पाउँछ कि पाउँदैन
there is support from ACCA. Of course, there is support from ACCA. तर कस्तो भन्दा इन टर्म्स अफ रिकग्निसनको हिसाबले हो सबै कुराको हिसाबले तर इन टर्म्स अफ प्र्याक्टिसको हेल्प भनौँ न प्र्याक्टिसलाई पनि भनौँ इन टर्म्स अफ जस्ट बिजनेसको पर्सपेक्टिभबाट प्रमोट गर्ने हिसाबले चाहिँ त्यो कुराहरू चाहिँ छ
एसिसिए नेपालले यो कुरा गरेछ नि रविनजी हाम्रो हुनुहुन्छ उहाँले गर्नुभएको छ
भनेको अब यस्तो भनेकोले चाहिँ देयर इज नट मच प्र्याक्टिस भनौँ न प्र्याक्टिसको हिसाबले चाहिँ प्र्याक्टिस गर्ने नै पर्सनहरू छैन लेट्स एक्जाम्पल चाहिँ स्ट्यान्डर्ड चार्टरलाई कसरी हेल्प गर्न सक्छ त भन्ने कुरा त अब इट्स अ बिग थिङ नि त अब त्यो हिसाबले चाहिँ अब नेपालको कन्टेक्स्टबाट अनलेस ग्लोबल कन्टेक्स्टबाट आयो भने चाहिँ ओके ग्लोबल कन्टेक्स्टबाट आउँछ होला तर हामीले चाहिँ एक्जाम्पल चाहिँ नेपालको कन्टेक्स्टमा चाहिँ देयर आर भेरियस स्मल लेट्स से बिजनेसेस जो चाहिँ अप्रुभड इम्प्लोयर्स छन् उनीहरूको हिसाबले चाहिँ रिकग्निसनको हिसाबले चाहिँ रिकग्निसन आउँछ तर मैले इम्फासिस गर्न खोजेको कुरा चाहिँ भनेको चाहिँ देयर इज लट अफ हेल्प फ्रम एसिसिए इफ यु रियली निड इट
अफकोर्स एसिसिएसँग धेरै हेल्प छ त्यस्तो कुरा नेपालमा केही कुरा छ भने नेपालको लोकल च्याप्टर जुन नेपाल काठमाडौँमा छ त्यसले एसिसिएको यहाँको मेम्बर्सहरूलाई इन्करेज गर्नुपर्छ त्यस्तो कुराहरू अब educating कुराहरू कि okay the ACCA can help you in these matters if you starting looking for a practice some sort of things initiatives त आउनु पर्यो नि हैन तर मलाई लाग्छ कि कर्पोरेट वर्ल्डमा धेरै जसो एसिसिए मेम्बरहरू कम्प्लिट गरेपछि त्यो कर्पोरेट वर्ल्डमा छ स्ट्यान्डर्ड चार्टरमा ब्याङ्क इज वान अफ द लक्रेटिभ त्यो ब्याङ्किङ इन्डस्ट्रिजमा धेरै छ प्लस प्रोजेक्टहरूमा छ फरेन प्रोजेक्टहरूमा छ आइएनजिओ एनजिओ आई थिङ्क all those areas ma धेरै involved छ but तपाईले भने जस्तो I agree with you that there are some probably something that I haven't seen many people working in a public practice most of my colleagues who used to study with me they all are like a part of in corporate world or some sort of project or foreign project they're working in a foreign project यो कुरालाई अलिकति उठाउनु पर्छ
त्यो प्र्याक्टिसमा अलिकति लुक्रेटिभ नभए पनि भनेको सर्टेन टाइमसम्म चाहिँ काम सिक्नको लागि हिसाबले एन्ड देन टु लर्न चाहिँ ठिकै हुन्छ त्यसपछि यु नो
सो वान अफ द थिङ्स मैले हेरेको थिएँ भने एसिसिए पढ्ने क्वालिफिकेसन युकेको पढ्ने युकेको ट्याक्स पढ्ने तर प्र्याक्टिसमा काम गर्दा नेपाली स्ट्यान्डर्डको मैले ब्याङ्कमा अडिट गरेको छु मैले यहाँ अडिट गरेको छु फर इक्जाम्पल हुन्छ नि बिकज दे आर नट इनफ प्र्याक्टिस practicing certificate or public practice in Nepal. That's why they don't have enough opportunity to go into practice. What they're doing, if you don't have, they go into some other areas. You know, त्यो चाहिँ भइरहेछ
हजुर आई थिङ्क अलिकति युकेको बारेमा नै कुरा गरौँ न आई थिङ्क सबैलाई चासोको विषय सो जेनरली चाहिँ लेट्स एक्जाम्पल एउटा स्टुडेन्ट चाहिँ यु नो इफ यु वान्ट्स टु मुभ युके अनि त कस्तो छ त स्कोप युकेमा भन्ने हिसाबले चाहिँ
स्कोप धेरै छ आनन्दजी स्कोप धेरै छ युकेमा म किन भन्छु धेरै छ भने देयर इज ग्लोबल सर्टेज अफ ह्युमन रिसोर्स अहिले गयो भने ओके ओन्ली थिङ इस्यु के आउन सक्छ भिसाको प्रब्लम हुनसक्छ because if you go in foreign country you know to sort out the visa because some of the employers is regulated by home office some of the employers might not hire you for full-time employees that means you have a barriers right but there is a one good opportunity that now the UK government is giving you everyone 2 years post-study work visa that means if someone is studying universities or someone is studying ACCA qualification I assume they can get 2 years post-study work or they can get a sponsorship you know they can get a sponsorship but in terms of getting a job there is a huge shortage of people accountancy profession in UK that means there is a huge demand
so त्यो ब्यारियर्स छोड्ने हो भने चाहिँ ब्यारियर्स भनौँ न त्यो हिसाबले चाहिँ इन जनरलमा हेर्ने हो भने there is a demand for accounting
there is a demand there's too many demands accounting means it's just not a public practice
of course
accounting means where you want to develop your career so अकाउन्टेन्सी भनेको अब ल म पब्लिक प्र्याक्टिसमा गरे पनि देयर आर टु मेनी पब्लिक प्र्याक्टिस इफ यु डोन्ट वान्ट टु डु वर्क इन पब्लिक प्र्याक्टिस यु हेभ गट प्लेन्टी अफ अपर्च्युनिटी आई डोन्ट थिङ्क दे वुड बी म जब गएँ त्यति बेला स्ट्रगल थियो म जति बेला गएँ देन इट वाज डिफिकल्ट टु गेट अ जब धेरै डिफिकल्ट थियो बिकज वी डोन्ट ह्याभ एक्सपिरियन्स युके एक्सपिरियन्स whenever you go for an interview they used to ask a question do you have a UK experience we don't have a UK experience
मैले रियलाइज गरेको चाहिँ अर्को कुराले कस्तो भन्दा चाहिँ चाहिँ इन टर्म्स अफ वेन यु आर स्टुडेन्ट तपाईँको जुन वर्किङ राइट्स छ त्यो वर्किङ राइट्सहरूले पनि तपाईँलाई चाहिँ अलिकति पछाडि
त्यसले गर्दा तपाईँले 4-5 वर्ष पछाडि गर्नुहुन्छ मान्छे के जबसम्म तपाईँलाई आफैलाई लाग्छ मेरो स्टेबिलिटी छैन फोकस गर्न सक्दैन यु क्यानट फोकस राइट यु डोन्ट नो हाउ लङ यु गोइङ टु स्टे राइट you don't know when your visa is going to be sorted. That's the problem. त्यो sort out हुने बित्तिकै then you have plenty of opportunity. Plenty of opportunity wherever you want to develop your career. Once you have a qualifications, you can work anywhere.
हजुर सो let's say advice दिने हिसाबले चाहिँ अब त्यो ब्यारियर्सहरूलाई चाहिँ आई थिङ्क अलिकति साइडमा राखेर कुरा गर्ने हो भने दोज ब्यारियर्स पनि आई थिङ्क अहिलेको कन्टेक्स्टमा हेर्दा चाहिँ सल्भेबल ब्यारियर्स भनौँ न त्यो हिसाबले चाहिँ त्यति
सल्भ गर्न सकिन्छ इट्स नट अ पर्मानेन्ट प्रब्लम इट्स अ टेम्पोररी प्रब्लम बट त के हुन्छ नि जस्तै तपाईँ जानुभयो काम गर्न अनि काम गर्न गइसकेपछि देन यु फोकसिङ अन बट यु डोन्ट नो एक्ज्याक्ट डेट वेन यु गोइङ टु सर्ट आउट योर भिसा इस्युज द डे यु सर्ट आउट द भिसा इस्यु यु हेभ प्लेन्टी अफ अपर्च्युनिटी लाइक आई सेड बट this is just a permanent this is just a temporary problem sorry this is not a permanent problem भनेको कुनै गाह्रो भने पाउँछ क्या त्यो सर्ट आउट हुन्छ बट यु डोन्ट नो वेन इज गोइङ टु सर्ट आउट
त्यो प्रब्लम छ आई थिङ्क अलिकति अब एन्डतिर आइयो आई थिङ्क एन्डतिर आउँदा चाहिँ आई थिङ्क अलिकति मलाई हजुरलाई चाहिँ इन टर्म्स अफ स्टुडेन्टको पर्सपेक्टिभबाट सुरु गर्नलाई भन्दा चाहिँ यु आर फाउन्डर मेम्बर अफ फर्स्ट लर्निङ प्रोभाइडर इन नेपाल इज होला नि त मलाई थाहा भएसम्म सो हाउ वाज लर्निङ प्रोभाइडर देन अनि अहिलेको हिसाबले चाहिँ लर्निङ प्रोभाइडर जति बुझ्नु भएको छ हजुरले भने नेपालको कन्टेक्स्टमा हाउ आर लर्निङ प्रोभाइडर्स नाउ
मैले जति बेला स्टार्ट गरेँ त्यति बेला मोस्ट अफ मेरो साथीहरू र म पनि इन्क्लुडिङ मी सेल्फ स्टडी गर्थेँ र ब्रिटिस काउन्सिलले एक्जाम अर्गनाइज गर्थ्यो ब्लू स्टार होटलमा जहाँसम्म मलाई थाहा छ बिकज आइ एम इन युके फर 17 years सो ब्लू स्टारमा हामी गएर एक्जाम दियो इन टर्म्स अफ लर्निङ प्रोभाइडर एउटा पुतली सडकमा थियो आई डोन्ट रिमेम्बर द एक्ज्याक्ट नेम बट वान अफ देम लेक्चर वाज उमेद सिंह जान वाज द फर्स्ट ACCA नेपालीज ACCA मिन्स त्यति बेला धेरै गाह्रो हुन्थ्यो बिकज द्याट मिन्स यो अल्टरनेटिभ अप्सन फर यु इज टु गो टु युके एन्ड कम्प्लिट बट अगेन सेयिङ दिस यु हेभ डिफिकल्ट इन गेटिङ भिजा त्यति बेला थियो त्यो प्रब्लम धेरै प्रब्लम थियो कि भिजा पाउँदैन थियो गाह्रो थियो अहिलेको कन्टेक्स्टमा तैपनि हामीले सुरु गरेको थियौँ 2000 आई थिङ्क 2मा सुरु गरेको थियो 2002मा सुरु गरेको थियो त्यसपछि मैले 2006मा छोडिदिएँ त्यति बेलासम्म 200-300 स्टुडेन्ट पढिरहेको थियो त्यहाँ होइन बट स्टिल people prefers to some used to go Malaysia even Malaysia पढ्न जान्थ्यो
सिङ्गापुर
पढ्न जान्थ्यो म चाहिँ बिकज म चाहिँ इन्टायरली त्यो आफै सेल्फ स्टडी गरेको कि धेरैजना सेल्फ स्टडी गर्थ्यो बुक बाई गर्थेँ सेल्फ स्टडी गर्थेँ पढ्थेँ अब अहिलेको कन्टेक्स्टमा चाहिँ धेरै इजी भइसक्यो तपाईँहरू जस्तो यत्रो इन्स्टिट्युसन छ क्वालिफाइड पिपलहरूले टिच गरिरहेछ द्याट मिन्स यु हेभ अ प्लेन्टी एन्ड आई थिङ्क दे आर अदर ट्युसन प्रोभाइडर्स एज वेल आइ एम नट अवेर अबाउट मेनी बट आई नो अबाउट तपाईँको कलेजको बारेमा मलाई थाहा छ त्यसकारण आई थिङ्क दोज हु आर ए स्टुडेन्ट इन नेपाल टु कम्प्लिट ACCA क्वालिफिकेसन द्याट मिन्स यु हेभ एन अपर्च्युनिटी नाउ to you have everything. You don't need to struggle to get visa, go to study and complete your examination in the UK. I don't think there's a difference studying in UK and studying in Nepal. So you have got everything available in Nepal. And तपाईँ जस्तो ट्युसन प्रोभाइडर जुन गरिराख्नु भएको छ त्यो राम्रो काम गरिरहेको छ हाम्रो बेलामा थियो
त्यो रिसोर्सेसकै प्रब्लम थियो होला त्यति बेला त भनौँ न
रिसोर्स थियो प्रब्लम बुकै आउँदैन थियो देन वाट वी युज टु डु एउटा निमा फोटोकपिज थियो समथिङ वी युज टु कपी द बुक्स one books cost I'm not sure how much what pound 35 pound and as a Nepalese contest we cannot afford to pay 35 pound to buy a book so what we used to go you used to pay some money and do the photocopies and study from
त्यो
photocopies.
अहिले पनि त्यही नै हुन्छ अहिले पनि
अहिले पनि होला तर त्यति बेला पनि त्यही थियो कोस्ट वाइज त राम्रो हो नि कि you have the same things whether you studying BPP FTC book but you have the same things. That means but in terms of I think the student who is studying and then many people are now aware about ACCA
त्यो अपर्च्युनिटी हिसाबले इन टर्म्स अफ इम्प्लोएबिलिटीको अपर्च्युनिटी पनि भनौँ न ब्याक इन 2002 कसलाई थाहा थियो र एसिसिए भनेको चाहिँ होइन अफकोर्स होइन सो करियरै बनाउँछु भन्यो भने चाहिँ नेपालको कन्टेक्समा करियर बनाउँछु भन्न पनि गाह्रो थियो कि बिकज इम्प्लोयरलाई चिनेको थिएन वाट एसिसिए क्वालिफिकेसन इज भन्ने हिसाबले चाहिँ अहिलेको कन्टेक्समा हेर्नु हो भने त भेरी रिकगनाइज हेरे नेपाल होइन त भनौँ आई थिङ्क लास्ट 4-5 इयर्समा हेऱ्यो भने चाहिँ इट हेज टेकन अ लेप भनौँ न अलिकति फरवर्ड राम्रो नै छ सो आई थिङ्क अन्तिमतिर आई थिङ्क हेभ यु गट एनी एडभाइस फर existing students or people who want to join ACCA students?
I mean, my advice to ACCA student, I think if you're really serious about your accountancy career, if you really want to develop and explore the opportunity throughout the world, you are in the right platform and you are studying the right qualifications. I think ACCA is the best qualifications for an accountancy professional education. You should continue, get training, get 3 years training, be qualified, decide your career, which wherever you want to go, and you have plenty of opportunity throughout the world. So this is the best platform, I think, platforms which Seed Financial Academy is giving to you. And also this is one of the recognized, it's like a passport to the world, you know, that your entry is open throughout the world, whether you want to work in Nepal, whether you want to work in Australia, anywhere.
Yeah, that's okay. Thank you. Thank you first.
Thank you very much, and thank you for inviting. And I hope we have a very good discussion in terms of ACCA.
It was very good. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.